Today we are taking a look at different ways to read dates in English. Can you read this date? Which options are right and which are not? Today you're going to find out. Hello and welcome to English Speaking 360. My name is Josh, I'm from Canada, and I am your favorite English teacher. And if I'm not your favorite yet, I hope to become your favorite. I have a super useful lesson for you today. Here's what we're going to study together. The months of the year first, so we're going to start with something really easy. Ordinal numbers in dates, first, second, third. The right way to read dates, and this is super important. Make sure you don't skip this part. The day of the week plus the date. How to read years in English. The American way versus the British way, and of course, lots of practice. Make sure you don't miss the review quiz because you will find out if you're good or not. Today's lesson is super useful for business people. So if you're in any kind of business or if you like to travel, because we always use dates when we travel, make sure you watch the full video. Let's start with something super easy, the months of the year. Let's do it together. Number one, first month is January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. So today you're going to need all of those months. When we read dates in English, we use ordinal numbers. 1 and 14 are not ordinal numbers. But if you add this to 1, it becomes first. So we add the two last letters, the S and the T, and then it becomes an ordinal number. For 14, we add TH. The TH comes from 14th. So we put TH at the top and it becomes an ordinal number. Ordinal numbers are used to show position or order. So first means it is the first day in the month. It is the position of the day within a single month. Here's the list of ordinal numbers with exceptions. And this is important because there are so many exceptions. Let's get started. How do you say this? First, second, third. Hey, make sure you practice with me, right? Because if you don't say them out loud, you will never learn them. Now, after third, it becomes much easier because we just use the number plus TH. So what is this? It is fourth. 4 plus TH. This one is an exception. We don't say fifth, we say fifth. So the VE in 5 changes to F and then TH. After this, it's regular. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Oh, this one is also a slight exception. We remove the E. 10th, 11th. Oh, we have another exception here. 12th. One more time, the VE has been switched for an F. So we say 12th. It's easier to say than 12th, right? So that's why we use F. 13th. 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, and watch out here because we hit our next exception. This one is hard. What would you say? Do you say 20th? We cannot say 20th, so we say 20th. 20 plus ETH, but also the Y changes for an I. 20th, but you can also say 20th. 20th is a lot easier to say. What comes next? Watch out here because it's one more exception. 20 plus 1, but it's not 21th. It's 21st. How about this one? 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. Once again, an exception, 5th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th. So 30th follows the same system as 20, so the Y changes for an I and then ETH after. 30th. Some days have 31 days, so we say the 31st. Make sure you remember the three first ones. They are the most important ones, right? Because you have to really put ST for first, second ND, and third RD. That's really important in English. Do you notice any problems here on those posters? Look carefully. There are three mistakes, three major mistakes. Can you find them? Let's do it together. The first mistake, the one on the left, January 1st. Firth is not a word, so it should be January 1st with ST, not TH. What about the second? You invited to my tooth birthday? Tooth? We don't say tooth, we say second birthday, so ND. Also, you invited, it should be you are invited. What about the last poster? Friday the what? Friday the 13th. It should be with a TH, not RD. If it's Friday the 3rd, then it's okay. But here it's Friday the 13th with TH. Now let's try to read a few dates together. Can you read this? January 1st. How about this one? February 22nd. March 5th. April 20th. May 12th. June 30th. You see what I did here? I took many of the exceptions and I put them all together, so it's a little bit difficult to read them, but make sure you practice because it's going to help you a lot. There are so many ways to read dates in English, so which ones are right? Let me give you 6 possibilities. Now look at them carefully and you tell me which ones you think are good ways to say the dates in English. Let's take the first one, July 10th. Okay or not okay? It's okay, of course, and it is also the most common way. So remember this one. If you forget all the other ones, it's okay. At least remember this one. July the 10th. Okay or not okay? Okay also. The 10th of July. What do you say? It's also okay. It is actually a little bit more formal than July 10th, but it's also a very common way to say the date. 10th July. Okay or not? Not okay. But in written British English, it could make sense. On a newspaper, for example. The 10th July. What do you think? No, this one is totally wrong. What about July 10? This one is okay, but only in very, very casual speech. So we don't use it so often, but if you want to make it very, very simple, July 10. That could be okay. But to be honest, the best ways to say dates are July 10th and the 10th of July. Now, reading dates is useful for scheduling and making appointments. Let's take a look at an example. Are you free on July 10th? Sure, let's meet on the 10th of July at 6 p.m. So you see, business people very often organize meetings, so this is when saying the dates properly is very important. The day of the week can also be added to make a date very clear. So here are the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you can add them to the example. Are you free on Saturday, May 16th? I have plans on Saturday the 16th. How about Friday the 22nd of May? So by adding the day of the week, you're actually making it very clear that you cannot make it on Saturday, but on Friday the 22nd, you are free. You can sometimes omit the month. So when we're talking about the current month, this month, we don't need to say the month. Hey, do you have any plans for the 12th? It means the 12th of this month. When the month is already known, like in the example, I have plans on Saturday the 16th, we know it's the 16th of May. When the month is not important, we also omit the month. For example, Friday the 13th. So Friday the 13th is an expression, it's a special day, it's a scary day, but sometimes it happens in January, sometimes it happens in July. We don't know the month, so it's not important, but the day is important. Also, we use it when contrasting dates. I have plans on Saturday the 16th. However, I'm free on Saturday the 23rd. So we use that and we omit the month. We don't need to say the month because we already know the 16th is not possible, but the 23rd is possible of the same month. Here's another thing you can do. You can say, I have plans on the 16th. You can also remove the day of the week to make it much easier and much more simple. However, I'm free on the 23rd. That's also a good way to say it. Now let's talk about years. This is very serious. There are two ways to read years in English. The first way is to read the whole number, so 2008 or 2008. Now, what is the difference? Why? And is optional, but if you speak British English, usually people use and. But I'm from Canada and we speak American English, so we say 2008. Now, this style is more formal and it's used very often for historical dates. Okay, so remember that. And it's not really used for dates between 1100 and 1999. Here's the second way. For the second way, you have to divide the year into two different numbers, two separate numbers. So you would say 2012. It's more casual, of course, but it's also the most common way to read years in English. So if you remember only one, remember the one on the right where you split the year into two different numbers. Let's try and read a few years. Can you read this year? 1492. How about this one? 1776. 910 or 910. 910 is also possible, but since it's a very, very old year, it's more historical, so maybe 910 is more appropriate. How about this one? 2001 or 2001. O means 0. You cannot say 21. 2001 is right. 21 is very confusing because people will think you mean the number 21. How about this one? It's a little bit more difficult. We say 1900. Why do we say 1900? Because we separate it into two numbers. 19 plus 00 is 100. So 1900. We sometimes shorten years to the last two digits. So that's a little bit special. So if you want to talk about 1975, you can say, my parents got married in 75. Why do we say only 75? Because people know that my parents didn't get married in 1875. How about this one? 1986? I was born in 86. This one is a little bit more challenging. 2004 or 2004? I got my first job back in 04. Back in 04. That's a good way to say it. The financial crisis started in 08. How about this? I bought a house in 11. Is it okay? This one is not okay. You cannot use it. So for the years 2000 until 2009, you can say 01, 02, 03. But from 2010, you have to say 2010 or 2010. You cannot just say 10 or 11 like in this example. How would you read this date? Think about it. So this is the easier way to write it. And it would be May 5th, 2025. But you could also say May 5th, 2025. A third way would be the 5th of May, 2025. American versus British English. There is a difference. The American way is a little bit strange because we start with the month and then the day and finally the year. So here you can see it's March 23rd, 2026. So this way of saying the date actually matches the American way of writing the date. However, there is also the British way. British people use day, month, and year, the 23rd of March, 2026. So this way of reading the date matches the British way a lot more. Let's use the American way for our review quiz. I'm going to give you 10 questions now. Let's get started. Can you read this date? Give it a try. Remember, 9 is the month, and then the day, and then the year. You ready? September 3rd, 1981. You cannot say 1981. It doesn't make much sense. Question 2. You ready? December 20th, 2002. 2002 is good, but you could also say 2002. Question 3. February 29th, 2028. 2028 is also not bad. Question 4. July 25th, 2025. Or you could say 2025. Question 5. Think about it. October 10th, 2010. Or 2010. Question 6. This one is a little strange, right? Remember, it could be like a historical date. So you would say September 4th, 276 is okay, but you could also say 276. Question 7. March 3rd, 1903. Question 8. We're going to the future now. June 30th, 2350. 2350, would you say 2350? Maybe you could, but it's very long, so that's why most people prefer to shrink it to two separate numbers, 2350. Question 9. November 31st, 1501. Question 10. Oh, that looks difficult, but it's not so difficult. January 1st, do you remember how to say this year? 1100. Good job, guys. If you want extra practice, go to my website and also check out my other videos on the right-hand side. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye.